Get better cameras, spend some of that money. My opening thought is I want to thank my players. I lied to everybody. I tried to take the heat off. I said the 23-game year stretch didn't matter. When I look back and I see Mike Krzyzewski not in, and at least, I know Kansas got more, but I still think we're the only school, us and Duke, that had the same coach, and I'm proud of it. And I want to thank them because they went through hell. I feel like, getting in is a big deal. It's going to be exciting. There were a few surprises, but at the same time, there have been a lot of surprises this year, and a lot of people have gone through hell. And I'm just happy and hopeful that we're one of 68 teams. And like I said to you 3 weeks ago, when we had that daunting schedule of 7 games in 15 days or whatever it was, all against those ranked teams, I said it's an opportunity. We have another opportunity ahead of us. It'll be one game at a time, but at Michigan State, we play this for the weekends. That's the way we always have. I'm never changing that. I don't care what seed they put me. And so the object is to win the weekend. It went from 2 games to 3 games. I can't think of a team that's more prepared to play one-day preps back to back to back more than we are. And so I'm happy for the players. I'm happy for the former players who set the standards here. I'm happy for the Mateen Cleaveses of the era when it started. I'm happy for the Waltons and the Draymonts and the Valentines and the Winstons and all the guys that kind of set the standard over the years. And it was a chore to maintain it, but we got through it in a way that I think few could. And I mean that. And I'm proud of my team. I'm proud of my players. I'm happy for them.
First question comes from Chris Solari.
Hey, Tom, I know you mentioned the extended weekend, that it'll be 3 games. I guess, does much change in that in terms of it being an NCAA tournament with having to win 3 games? I mean, it's obviously new territory for you guys, but not necessarily with tournaments and some of the stuff you guys face down the stretch.
Well, what we faced down the stretch entirely, and and the other thing I told my team, looking at those brackets, it seemed like some teams got a tremendous benefit from not playing the games. We did what I thought, company line is. We came back and played those 3 games. As I look back, would I have been better off not playing them? Did I hurt my team some? Maybe. But you know what? We did what we were supposed to do. I look around the country, I see some teams that played a lot less games, and I think got some benefit. We're battle tested, man. We've been through it all. And I'm proud of them for that. I like the way we went. We had our backs against the wall. We had a win. We played, all those games with 1 and 2 day prep anyway. So we're tested on that. We played some of the best teams in the country. I mean, Michigan twice. They're a 1 seed. Illinois, they're a 1 seed. Ohio State, they're a 2 seed. We played all those teams. So I think we're about as prepared as anybody. And yet, it's new territory, but might as well be new territory for me. Why should it be easy?
And you guys had 5 quad 1 wins. The 2 teams ahead of you that got the last buys had 3 combined between them. Is there a sense of frustration with that, or did you get any explanation of what weighed more in terms of the wins versus the net versus any of the other metrics?
Well, I'll just say this. I have no idea. Do I get any explanation? Are you crazy? You've been in this longer than that. You think anybody's giving me an explanation? No, there's no explanation. That's about as secretive as it gets. The only problem I've had, and I said this for 2 months, the net is a joke. Okay? If the net hurt us, that's a joke. If the net didn't hurt us, I'm cool with it. But the net, because we didn't beat teams by as much, because we didn't run up scores, that went out with football. Like I said, football people are a lot smarter in that respect. If the net really had an impact, which it sure seemed like it must have, I think that's embarrassing to our profession. There's not a way in the world I'd run the score up on my biggest enemy. And, we dug ourselves our own hole in some ways. But was I surprised? Yeah, I was surprised. Am I disappointed? I'm not disappointed because I've been through so much here over the years. Back in 16, disappointed that we weren't a 1 seed when everybody thought we deserved it. That's the way it was. Those are the facts. And the facts are that we played in the best conference in the country. I'm not going to be upset about a play-in game. I think our conference and league office should be, because I think it doesn't serve what this conference did this year as well. But at the same time, we play a storied team like UCLA. We get a chance to play a team that is very well coached. He was at Cincinnati for years and did such a great job there. He's brought a physical nature to the West Coast, which normally isn't the case. So I know they're going to be very well coached. I know they've been a good team. They've struggled a little bit in certain times, like everybody does. But I guess the other thing I was a little concerned with, and that's why I said that about playing those games, we were one of 3 teams in our league that really had extensive COVID experience. And I'm not sure that was looked at the same way, but when I came back and played those 3 games in 7 days after practicing 3 days, if I look back, I probably hurt my team. So the only one that should get blamed for that is me.
Our next question is from Stoney.
Yeah, Coach, are you happy with the way the Big Ten was represented? Nobody, it seemed, got screwed at all.
Really?
You think so?
If that's what you think, then that's what I'll say is good.
No, because
I
usually
think when you got the best league in the conference, I definitely think Michigan, Ohio State, Illinois, Iowa deserve to be 1 and 2 seeds. But then I think that the 4 teams at the end are 9, 10, 12, 14 seeds. You got your opinion, I got mine. But I think if you're the best team in the conference and everybody's talking that every night out's a tough night, and then you throw it in because so many people had to deal with the COVID situation, and I'm just happy we made it through. I'm happy that they got through, but am I happy? I personally, I think there could have been 10 teams in our league because I think the league was that good. So, and compared to some leagues that got, then I definitely say that. But you know what? Doesn't matter, Stoney. The games begin on Thursday. That's what we're playing, and I'm fine with that.
in a weird way, is it almost better with your draw? Not necessarily the play-in where you don't. If you were an 8 seed, you would have to play probably the number 1 seed, the second game of the tournament. So does it work out better that way?
Sure. We've already played 2 1 seeds.
I know.
In fact, we already beat 2 1 seeds.
Yes, you did.
I mean, those extra days at this time of year, what you go through, the extra game is not going to be easy on anybody, So I don't know, and nor do I care. But no, you know what? I'd rather be the best seed we could be. I'd rather be the seed we deserve. And if that's what we deserve as a plan, then the committee's got their reasons, and that's where we are, and that's what we're going to play, and we're going to see if we can do what I've done a lot in my career here, prove somebody wrong.
Thank you.
Next, we'll go to Kyle Austin.
So many recent years you've been, 2 seed, 3 seed, tournament favorites among them. How is the mindset kind of different this year, being an 11, and how do you kind of hope you guys go into it?
Dog eat dog, man. This is what this year is about. It's been that way for the whole year, Once we went through the early January, little bit of a slump, and then the COVID, I think it's been that way the whole time. We've been fighting an uphill battle, and I give a lot of credit to my players, my staff, my medical people for keeping everybody sane. And as a lot of people are, more than a couple teams had to do, I've talked to a lot of those teams like Villanova and Penn State and our league and different people that went through it. But it really doesn't matter. I've been a 7 seed and gone. I've been a 1 seed and got beat by a 15, or 2 seed and got beat by a 15. I mean, it it's, I watched UConn beat us and go on to win the national championship. I think of all the years, it really doesn't matter what seed you are, and that didn't bother me. The play-in thing, I guess, concerns you because what we went through the last 2 weeks of the regular season. But you know what? Fresh start. We're going to be ready to go, and we're gonna play, and we're looking forward to it. We still think it's a privilege and an honor to be in the tournament. Not always can you be a 2 or 3 or 4 seed. What the hell? New experience for me. I should experience all those things while I'm at Michigan State. And who knows how many years I got left, so I might as well experience a playing game, and that way I can say I've done it all.
3 more questions in the chat, starting with Brendan at Impact Radio.
Hey, Coach, I want to go back to something you said as an answer to another question. You said you want the seed you deserve, and if the playing game is what you deserve, then that's what it is. But what seed do you think you guys deserved after the way you performed the last 2 weeks?
Well, it just depends. There's always upsets, which is another strange rule that teams that win conference tournaments, even if it's a shock of the world, can't be in a play-in game. So I'd say there's a couple teams there. There were a couple other teams that didn't have as many, not even close to as many quad 1 wins in that. Some from smaller conferences. I was a little surprised, but I'm not. You know what? It's over, guys. So what seed do we deserve? And there was a time I was dying to be in the tournament. And you know what? I still am. And to think that we've been in this thing 23, really last year, 24 straight years is incredible. And by the time I get to my hotel, I'm going to think of it as an incredible opportunity. I've told my team the same thing I told you guys when we played that daunting schedule 2 weeks ago, filled with opportunities. We get a chance to play UCLA. As I said, phenomenally coached. And I mean that. And then more important, or as important, hell, I'll have Bill Walton talking about the game. It's a Thursday night game. It's the biggest game. It's the only game of 2 major conferences. And I think, we'll get exposure. I told Aaron Henry his parents could get to see 3 games instead of 2. There's going to be some positives. I don't know what you want out of me. I don't know what you think. You write what you think. Where do you think we belong?
Genuinely asking?
No, straightforward, not generally.
Oh, I think probably a 10.
Yeah. I think it could be 11. I was just surprised it was in the play-in game. But then again, I'm in. I got the same opportunity as the number 1 seeds. Same opportunity. And that's the way I'm going to look at it.
Thank you.
Next question, we'll go to Audrey Dahlgren.
Tom, obviously a couple of weeks ago or so, you were mentioning the streak. I don't want to put pressure on the streak, but as you're watching, the West region go by and then the South region and, Midwest region go by and stuff, did you start to feel a little anxious or anything along those lines in a sense? Or, what was the mood like and kind of just the emotion of just waiting to hear?
I really didn't. Now that I look at the whole thing and see where they put some teams, I probably should have been, but I really didn't. I just thought with some of the teams that had come in, that they had put in, I thought, I thought for sure we were in, but and we're 11 seed, but no, I didn't sit there chewing my nails. They look the same, players, they've been through a lot. Hey, like I said, I've had a lot of teams here. Some at the end of the year I'm mad at. Some at the end of the year I cried with, like Denzel's group. Some at the end of the year I celebrated with. But not many have I been prouder of than this team and what they've gone through and what all of you have gone through. You as media people, I'm proud of you. This COVID part screwed up your thing. Well, it really was difficult on us. And the fact that our trainers, our people at Breslin, so many people did a great job, but none greater than what the players did. And so, when you get picked and you're you know, I mean, I don't think it would have mattered what seed you were, but when you play the Thursday game too, and I mean, it's a daunting task, you know. Ironically, you know, if we could win a couple games, we'd play against a good friend of mine, Shaka Smart. And I remember when he played in the play-in game and made it to a Final Four. And maybe I'll call Shaka and talk to him about it. You know, I give a lot of people advice. Maybe somebody can give me advice. This is new territory for me, and I'm not right now, but by tomorrow morning, I'm going to be anxiously awaiting the opportunity.
And then as a quick follow-up, you guys have had a couple of days to just go through some practices at the YMCA and, you know, things along those lines. And so what's it like, you know, kind of not playing today, because you're usually always playing on a Sunday, but to have those days to go through some things, maybe a little extra prep work or something.
Isn't it great between you and Stoney and Chris, and that we actually are so spoiled? We get to talk about, yeah, you're usually a 1, 2, or 3 seed. Yeah, you know, usually we're staying in the top hotels. I said, well, you know, maybe that's what happens when you're a 1, 2, or 3 seed, you know? And, you know, so it's kind of good to get back. You know, it's not quite Mariucci and I living in a trailer, but it's good, you know, I mean, it's good to bring back reality to things. And I'm fired up about that. You know, once in a while, it's good to have the chip on your shoulder and have to prove things. And, you know, I think we did pretty well going through that. You know, do we have enough left in our tank? We'll find out. You know, we're going to find out on Thursday night. But I promise you this, we had great practices yesterday and today. We did practice at a YMCA, so you did your homework. Proud of you. You know, even better, the guy at the YMCA started playing the YMCA song, and we were, well, God, everybody was dancing. I think I even danced a little bit. Good thing it's not on video. But we had a good practice. We had good workouts. Our guys are going to be ready to play. You know, I just feel good about that. And watching those games, you know, yesterday's Michigan-Ohio State game, watching today's game, watching Wisconsin, Illinois games, I mean, our Iowa games. I mean, it's been, you know, we can play with anybody. We have played with anybody. Somebody said, well, you probably don't want to face Gonzaga, or you don't want to face Baylor. I said, why not? We faced Michigan and faced Illinois. And so, you know, unless LeBron comes in and they give him some eligibility back, I really don't care who we face.
Thanks, Tom. I'll find that video, by the way. So
No, you won't, because I didn't let anybody take any video. If
Okay.
I'm dancing, there'll be no video. Remember that.
okay.
Final question tonight comes from Graham Couch.
Tom, you mentioned, you know, playing the weekend, so to speak, and obviously when there's an extra game, I'm wondering as a coaching staff, how that changes things for you and how much you've seen the rest of your weekend, UCLA, potentially BYU, Texas, just at times you've been watching college hoops this year.
Well, I've watched a little bit. You know, I always watch Shaka because I say he's a friend of mine. And I got a chance to watch BYU the other day because I was watching Mark Few, who's a friend of mine. And so I, you know, I've watched some of those games. I didn't watch them like I would if I was scouting them. But how's it going to be? Let me tell you something. If we're still playing on Monday, it's going to be the greatest thing. You know how bad I look after, you know, a couple of weekends, and I'll get another, you know, 3 games in 6 days if we can keep winning. But I've already done that times 2. So I don't think I can look any worse, and I'm not sure I can feel any worse, but there is a good feeling about accomplishing things, and the task in front of us is going to be demanding but exciting. And it'll just be a new chapter, you know, new chapter in my book and the Michigan State basketball book. And that's the way I'm going to approach this, you know, new opportunity, new chapter, do something you've never done. That's always fun. And that's the way we're going to try to do it.
All right, Coach, congrats on 23 in a row. And thanks for your time today.
Thanks, guys.